Video time. So I get questions every day about hair. What herbs I use on my hair, what herbs actually work for hair. It's a lot of information going around on social media about, mix this, infuse this oil, do this, do that. Amala, rosemary, honey, fenugreek, and different things, right? So people are doing a lot of different things to try to get their hair to grow. So I thought this was a good time. I just can put one video up and just address everything about hair, and we can see if we get any more questions after that. So first, I think it's important that we address the fact that everybody's hair is going to grow differently, right? There's really not one cure all for hair, just like there's not a one cure all for any type of issue in the body, right? We're all individuals. And so with holistic medicine, that's the way we're supposed to approach it. We're supposed to approach it from an individual standpoint, right? But with hair, it does follow metabolic pathway, right? There's phases to hair growth. And so regardless of what person you are, your hair is going to go through these phases. The difference is that the phase can be different for different people based on different things: diet, lifestyle, genetics, stress. All that stuff can impact the phases of your hair growth. So the most important phase of your hair growth is the anagen phase. There's four: the catagen phase, the telogen phase, and the exogen phase. The anagen phase is the growth phase of your hair, right? So that's where the focus should be. We want to make sure that that growth phase is long enough for your hair to actually grow from the base of your follicle out through your scalp, right? So basically at the base of your follicle, hair cell is dividing there. That is where your growth is going to come from. So if that phase is long enough, your hair has plenty of time to grow. Typically the phase is like 2 to 6 years. But what has been found through some research is that the phases appears to be shorter in African American people. Some of us, the phase is shorter. So that is definitely going to impact your hair growth. Not to mention the follicle shape, right? The follicle shape is just going to determine how tightly coiled your hair is. So it's important that you take care of your hair follicle, true, but it's also just important to know that your follicle shape is your follicle shape. It only really changes around puberty, and after that and before that, it's really not going to change the shape of it, right? So you can do your best to take care of your hair shaft when it comes out of your scalp, right? So that's where the breakage comes and the lack of growth comes. So you have a decreased length of the anagen phase, so there's not enough time for the hair to actually grow out of the scalp, and then you have damage to your hair shaft when it comes out. So it's kind of like breaking and falling off. So with coiled hair, a very coiled, we call it kinky hair, is stress on the hair. So the hair is just more prone to break versus straight hair. It doesn't have that bend in it, right? And then if you factor in if your hair is being mechanically damaged, right? Like we're braiding it, putting rubber bands, putting scrunchies, you know how we do, then we're really just breaking the hair shaft off. So it doesn't matter how much we're treating the scalp with oils if we're damaging this hair that's hanging, which is already dead anyway. This is just dead keratin cell, right? But you can make it look shiny and healthy and full based on how you take care of it when it comes out your scalp. So, okay, so herbs. We can try to implement herbs to help lengthen the anagen phase. We could try to implement herbs to help to deal with the hormones that take place in hair growth, like cortisol and estrogen, your thyroid hormones, progesterone, all that stuff, DHT, all those things are important when it comes to hair growth. So like DHT and different androgens are derivatives of testosterone, right? Us women, we have it too. So this applies to both women and men. So they can inhibit hair growth, or they can cause hair growth in areas where we as women don't want hair to grow, right? So like rosemary, for instance, we see a ton of information on rosemary. Rosemary will inhibit DHT, which is a good thing, right? Because DHT actually shrinks your hair follicle, so that makes it so the hair is thinner and more brittle and will break more easily, right? So if you're using rosemary and you're having a DHT issue, then okay, it's going to be beneficial. But at the same time, too, estrogen is what gives us this beautiful, long, thick hair, right? And so that's come a lot of times when we're pregnant, our hair grows really thick because estrogen goes up. Well, then you have rosemary also helps the body to quickly eliminate estrogen. So if there's an estrogen issue, estrogen is already low, I'm not going to say put rosemary oil on your scalp, right? So it's things that should be taken in consideration when using herbs. Like I said, it's not just a cure all. And also, we have to respect herbs. And I think that's the issue that's most important, is that herbs are losing their respect. Um, Everybody thinks that they can mix them. Everybody thinks because they're natural that they're safe. And that's just not true. Natural does not equate to safety. People would not go into a pharmacy and just begin to mix chemicals and assume that they're going to be safe and just ingest them. But with herbs, because we have this false illusion that they're natural, that they're safe, the phytochemicals in herbs are there to protect the plant, right? So there's strong phytochemicals in there. They're there to protect the plant from the elements, from predators, from insects, right? So it's the survival of the plant. In general, they're safe for us, but they still have to be mixed properly. They still need to be applied where they're supposed to be applied. And so when we don't have enough understanding of what we're doing, we ruined the reputation of the herb itself. We do things to ourselves that don't work, and then we blame it on the herb. Or we do things to ourselves that hurt us, and then it also gets blamed on the herb. And that's how come we can't get them out in the front, because that's their argument. There's not enough scientific backing. We are not mixing stuff the same every single time. We can't tell what's actually in there. So in order for us to grow this knowledge and really make herbs more mainstream and give us more alternatives, we have to be responsible. And people are not being responsible. Like, you could put 50,000 books out. I can read a book about, building a building, but that doesn't mean I need to start building it because I read the book. It's more to it, right? And so we need to just be mindful that we have to take everything into consideration when taking herbs. Genetics, lifestyle, diet, nutritional deficiencies, gender, like all that stuff matters on how you're going to take the herbs. So it's important that you speak with someone, is what I suggest, right? Talk to somebody, let somebody who has trained, because this is a skill set, right? Years of work in anatomy and physiology. I'm also a chemist, and I have a background in science. Ayurveda is involved, and most herbalists, trained herbalists, we have to study in order to be a certified herbalist. We have to study hundreds and hundreds of herbs, the phytochemicals, what they're actually doing to your body. It's a lot to it. It's truly a science, right? So it just deserves to be respected, and done safely, is what I'm saying. But as far as hair growth goes, yes, there are herbs out there that will benefit your hair growth if your problem is being addressed. So, like I said, it's factors that need to be taken into consideration so that the right herbs are chosen for your condition. And someone that is trained can ask you some questions and assess you and then point you in the correct direction so you can actually get the benefits that you want. So y'all, it's all love. The ultimate goal here for us at Raw Regimen is that you are healthy and that you are educated so you can make informed decisions. And just to remember that you are an individual, wonderfully made, right? As an individual, there's no two people that are the same. So even if you are a twin, there are differences because you guys walk a different path in life. So those differences need to be taken into consideration when you choose what direction you're going to go with your health. So that's it. If you have any questions, drop me a line. You could visit us on the website. You could visit your local Moreno Valley. You can walk in the store and ask questions, and we could point you in the correct direction. What herbs will be best for you? All right. Have a blessed day.